Good afternoon and welcome back once again to my YouTube channel. This is Francis Mahan. Today's episode will be about conversation with Francis. We are going to discuss three different reasons why people feel lonely, isolated, and sometimes even depressed. Have you ever been in a group of people and felt alone? It felt as if you didn't belong in that group, as if you're not part of the group. Everybody's entertaining, they're speaking, they're having a conversation, yet you don't feel connected to anyone in particular. It has been said that since the pandemic, we have been more isolated than ever before. People are lonely, they're depressed, and they are isolated from other people. The number one reason why people feel so isolated is number one, they are emotionally detached. Social media has created a new wave of communication that allow people to communicate through social media rather than communicate with loved ones and strangers. Have you ever waited in an office for an appointment and noticed that every person that walked in had a cell phone, and immediately as soon as they checked into their appointment, they went on the cell phone? I have experienced that lately. I went to an appointment a week ago and more than three people walked in. Not one person said hello to anyone. We are becoming emotionally detached from one another. The number two reason why people are becoming so isolated and depressed and lonely is they are either going through a transition where they are growing, things are changing, and they're separating from people in order to experience that new change and accept what is, so that they can become consciously aware of what is it that they need in order to continue on to transition in life, and of course learn a few new experiences through perhaps pain, emotion, tears, loneliness, isolation. Such condition can be the death of a loved one. It can be separation, breaking up from a boyfriend, or divorce. These things require that we take our time to mend and heal internally, emotionally, even spiritually, so that we can connect with ourselves and our divine purpose, our destiny. See, we believe that we are in control of our destiny, that we all have a purpose. Of course, we have a purpose in life. That purpose is being assigned not by ourselves, but it's been assigned by God. It is not our will, it is His will. This is why they say that when someone departs early from this world through an accident or illness or anything of that nature, they come back because their purpose, in according to God's will, has not been fulfilled here on earth. They need to fulfill that purpose in order to be a complete divine being and return to the essence of who they are or where they came from. The number three reason why people are depressed, isolated, lonely, and sometimes even want to commit suicide is because in this era today, there is a big gap of spiritually unplug people. Some people have created the ideology that they are all God. Unfortunately, they cannot manage like God does. Imagine that you wake up in the morning and you have problems that you've been thinking of the night before, things you want to solve. And you feel that you cannot handle that on your own. You keep processing thoughts and worrying about how am I going to deal with this? What am I going to do? It could be financial. It could be emotional. It could be of any nature. I have a word of advice for you. I know a man spiritually through my divine nature that has more trouble, more problems, more chaos, and more things to do than we do on a daily basis. Once in a while, we have a problem. Imagine if you were really God and you were given the assignment to solve the trillions or millions of people's problem. Can you handle it? Can you handle that? This is where the version of the Bible says, give your problems to God and He will solve them for you. But in order to do that, we must have faith. Because once you have faith, you can get up in the morning with the confidence that God has got this for you, that you don't have to worry about it. All you have to do is pray and thank Him. Have gratitude, even for that problem, because perhaps in that problem, there is a lesson for you. There is an experience. There is something that you need to learn or to communicate or to handle or to experience in order to move forward into your higher self, the self that knows how to deal with problems or how to give those problems to God and have the self-confidence that everything is going to be okay. Everything is going to be okay. The only reason I believe this firmly, that people can commit suicide, is because they are detached spiritually. They have lost faith and they go into this sadness that feels like a never-ending feeling they don't know how to deal with. But if you are one of those people experiencing sadness, isolation, and depression, give that problem to God. It's not just to say, oh God, here is my problem, take care of it. No, it's waking up in the morning, knowing that you have a problem, saying a prayer, keeping a positive mind. Yeah, a positive mind, like we all mention, oh, positivity helps. It does. Wake up in the morning with a positive attitude and let God handle that situation for you. And trust me, my friend, that situation will handle itself. However, if you try to control it, it will evolve into a more difficult situation to deal with. Something that becomes more complex than you expected that to be. If you were a salesman and you are doing poorly, what would you do? Would you be angry? Will you curse? Would you say, oh, I can't stand this. I can't make any money. I can. I'm not. I wouldn't. It's not happening. It takes one customer, one person, persistence, and an attitude of faith that no matter what's going on, something is coming out of it to take care of the situation. And it will help you handle whatever it is with a positive outcome. The mind can create miracles, and those miracles are only created through faith. You gotta have that deep conviction inside of you and walk with faith. That no matter how lonely you are, no matter how depressed you are, there is something that you need to know in order to heal, to process, to understand, and to become wiser, to have more wisdom in life, so that you can learn to move forward with deep conviction, with faith, with a good attitude, and knowing that God will take care of your problems. I personally have been depressed in my life. And I personally blame God for my feelings, my emotion, my depression, my lack of whatever is it that I wanted in life. See, that sadness and depression is nothing more. That's something that we want, but we cannot get. But not everything that we want is good for us. There's some things that are damaging to our purpose in life, to our destiny, and to our spiritual well-being. Therefore, God will not allow it to happen the way we desire that to happen. And you have to have the conviction and faith that whatever happened is meant to be. That is not you in control, but something of higher power than you are. Whatever you believe in, God, source, universe, higher power, it doesn't matter. Hand those problems over to God and He will take care of them. You, I, all of us, we are never alone. He is always by our side. Think of it as an example of something you wanted so bad in life, and you pray, and then you became silenced, and you allow things to be, and you got what you wanted. That is the way to handle it. Let it go and let it be. God is taking care of our problems. Sometimes it is essential that we go through this process of healing and the pain in order for us to grow. Without growth, there is no change. So if you're feeling isolated, it's okay. You're not alone. God is by your side. If you're feeling lonely, it's okay. You need to go through that loneliness process to learn something out of it. There is a reason why you are feeling lonely. There is a reason. Deep inside of you, there is a reason. And if you're feeling depressed, lift up your spirit, pray, thank God. Thank God for today. Just connect with your spiritual being, your divine being, and allow it to connect with you. Because once you do, you will find peace of mind and healing. Thank you for listening to this video. I appreciate your time. This is Frances Mahan on the topic of depression, isolation, separation, and feeling that you don't belong. Sometimes all of this is essential in order for us to find out where do we really belong in accordance to God's purpose. Thank you. Love and light. Have a wonderful day.